Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday, 21st September. So just got a Japanese bank holiday Monday, Tuesday this week. We've got China next week, apparently, having started looking at next week's calendar instead of this week's. So anyway, lighter volumes most likely through that Asian session with the Japanese holidays there for the next couple of days. We have got one speaker today then. We've got Fed Chair Powell speaking. He's due to speak with the rest of the FOMC board about rule making for the Community Reinvestment Act, whatever that may be. So there we go. There is a speaker. I don't think it will necessarily, at 3 p.m, I don't think it will have a large effect on the currencies. Anyway, looking at the technicals then, and Euro, Friday didn't really manage to do hardly anything. It was one of the smallest days we've seen for a long old time. It got caught between its weekly pivot and the daily 21 moving average. It's trying to push up at the moment. Could it just stay in the same sort of range? Yes, it's a little to move it looks. There is a weekly pivot sitting below which may just draw it and just, well, could still end up in just about the same range even if it gets hit fractionally out of that range. But you saw it there it was. Friday's biggest bar was it, and for most of the day it just slid down. So we've got a trend line across the lows here. A break of that may well just signify a sort of a bigger correction back. Like last week, my personal preference is still to the upside at the moment with the euro, but that may change. Technically, it's still giving me more bullish signs than bearish signs at the moment. So on balance, I'm sort of looking on that more bullish side of things, but that, as I say, may change. Pound dollar, well, the pound's getting a bit of bid at the moment. I was looking for much more of a bid on Friday. It just ran into that daily 50 again, and that seems to be the resistance point at the moment. There was, and there is, a whole lot of resistance sort of that's sitting in around about that 1.3 area, and that's a key area for which we should be watching this week. Effectively, that's pivotal area. If it starts breaking beyond that, well, I would be much more bullish during the week. If it holds back down, well, I'm just watching what's happening here. It has got now support further below it. The 4-hourly 50 is curling around a little bit here, 34 pointing up already. Moving averages coming into support really. Now, again, we've got this sort of bar pushing in. It's a live bar pushing in at the moment, bullish engulfing. If it closes where it is now, maybe a key reversal. It's gone out through the lows there. However, we'll see what happens. It's 7:55 as I'm calling it. May just pull back into range before I finish recording this. But as I said on Friday, I was looking for the long side. It just never got long enough. It just ran into that 1.3 area, never got beyond it. Again, that may provide resistance today. Looking then at the dollar yen, the dollar yen did get on a little bit more, and it's pushed on further this morning. I've just put like a measurement from the range here. I just sort of measured this move across here and just applied it to the breakdown here, and we're not too far. We probably got a little bit more downside on that yet, and it's really running into that at the moment. So expecting further downside. It found a bit of support off that 786, and well, it's sitting back on it at the moment. It's just whether it breaks through that and pushes on. But that is a rough rule of thumb. I've taken the midpoint of this wedge pattern just as a sort of a guide to where it might go. But at the moment, it's looking continue to look bearish. Just looking, it has got a bit of divergence creeping in there, maybe on the 4-hourly, and well, potentially on. Let's just put, yeah, certainly got it on the 60-minute there on the MACD. Let's have a look at the RSI. Well, it's gone through the 50 there for me, a bit too long on that, but has got a bit of divergence across that time frame on the MACD there. So we could see a bit of a change. Okay, that's the dollar yen, Aussie dollar. So from a daily point of view, I mean, the last well over a week now, we've just been sitting there into dojis and very, very tight movement, very tight range here, and it's at the moment it's sitting in that range. As long as it sits in there, it's well got resistance points, support points, and we're just messing around in there. We need to see a break for that to really have a chance of a decent move, I think, at this stage, where it's already into its daily R1, hit the pivot, the weekly pivot. It's done everything all in one go. Not a lot personally I could do there. A breakout maybe on the books here, but I'm not holding my breath for that at the moment. There's little to drive things at the moment, and unless we see something dollar-wise happening, it's just like this Canadian dollar here. I'm just looking at Canadian dollar. Okay, Friday it sort of the dollar gained on the Canadian dollar a little bit there, but already given some of that back. But very, very choppy. No clear direction now as such, and it's sort of in this range. Okay, there's some higher lows amongst it in for this hourly point of view, but it's pulled back halfway. Maybe it's got more upside here. It's already hit its daily pivot, weekly pivot. Maybe the R1 towards those prior highs there could be the direction for the Canadian dollar today. Looking at other markets, oil we saw regain quite a bit of its just bring this back a little bit so you can see, regained quite a bit of its losses over the last week there. The contract expires on the 22nd, so we'll just see if there's any movement around next day, so just be wary. This is actually the current contract that we're seeing here, so this actually expires. So just be wary of the expiries. Brokers would have moved you on to more future contracts, normally 2 months ahead, a lot of them, but all the same could see some volatility reflected in the oil price. So consolidating on this 4-hourly time frame, and it may be no one really wants to do too much dealing whilst it is as it is. So there we are. Quite a messy situation there. I'll leave that for now. Consolidation seems to be the word of the day here. S&Ps, they finally broke that daily 50 on Friday. To me, it's looking more and more chance of sort of more of a rollover, lower highs, lower lows. Has got a weekly pivot above, which could cause a draw towards that later today, but it's just giving all the signs technically here of some softness and maybe a bit more of a continuation, so retracements may be a point to sell into. That's it for me today. As I said, nothing more significant apart from the Fed chair speaking at 3 p.m. Have a great one. Bye for now.